I would like to thank Ashton Lewis for sending me this story. And let me just first off by saying two things. Allow me to offer my condolences to the family of this young woman, family, friends, associates, whoever. Second, before I even get into this article, I'm going to say this right now. I better not see anything in there saying that they believe this woman committed suicide. Because I already know that's the angle they're probably going to go with before I even get into the article. So, this woman's name is Amber Evans, and she was an activist from Ohio. And back in January, she went missing, and people were looking for her, like they were really looking for her. They were trying to find her as usual, when someone goes missing. Well, it just came out that her body was found lifeless in a river. Like she was found in the water. And I said, "Oh God, I know where they're gonna go with this." Now, when I was skimming the article, one thing that stuck out to me was when they said that they found her cell phone somewhere else. So something tells me this woman was probably kidnapped and then she was killed. And then they dumped her body. That's what I believe. But let me go ahead and read this article. It says the body of a missing Ohio activist has been found months after her disappearance. Columbus police confirmed that a body recovered from the Scioto River on Saturday has been identified as community activist Amber Evans, who had been missing since January 28th. Authorities found Evans' abandoned vehicle in a mile area downtown shortly after her disappearance, while her cell phone was discovered in another part of town. Now, a lot of red flags for me have just raised just reading that statement alone. Columbus police have since notified the woman's family. While this is not the outcome we hope for, we understand this brings closure for the family. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. The 28-year-old was reported missing after police said she got into an argument with her boyfriend. However, authorities have also said there weren't any known domestic violence issues in Evans' relationship and that they had no reason to suspect foul play. At the time, police consider her a distraught, high-risk missing person. The Columbus Police's Special Victims Bureau and dive team recovered the body Saturday morning near the Whittier Street Peninsula. Commander Alex Bennon said authorities conducted a similar search of the area in the days following Evans' disappearance, utilizing everything from K9 units to drones with infrared technology, but the weather and water levels hampered their efforts. Grief-stricken reactions flooded social media Sunday as news spread of the young woman's discovery. According to local station WSYX, Evans was a well-known activist and organizer who worked with countless social justice groups across the city. The Ohio State University and Kent State University grad also served as executive director for the Juvenile Justice Coalition in Columbus. Showing Up for Racial Justice, another group Evans worked for, reacted to news of the young woman's death and said its members were at a loss for words. Anyone who knew Amber knew that she was extremely disciplined and dedicated to struggling for a better world, said Tynan Krakoff, the group's lead organizer. She treated everyone with dignity, and when you spoke, it always felt like she truly was listening. She was a fighter, and we will continue her legacy. He continued, "We've organized very closely with Amber's People Justice Project the past 3 years, fighting for justice for countless victims of police brutality. We will honor Amber's legacy by continuing to fight for a world where Black Lives Matter and fight for a Columbus for all." Evans' mother, Tanya Fisher, who made public pleas for her daughter's safe return, also took to social media to ask for privacy and quiet during family times of mourning. "I'm coming on here as a mother who has just found out that I lost my firstborn child. I love you all, and you all know I am more than willing to accept all that you have to give, but just give me a moment, just a moment, give my family a moment." Evans' grieving mother said the family plans to hold a memorial vigil Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Funeral arrangements are still pending. Many took to social media to remember the beloved activist and send their condolences. Incredibly sad news for the family, friends, and for all those that loved and cared for Amber Evans. My thoughts are with everyone that continues to grieve today. The Women's March organization also tweeted, "This is devastating. Hashtag Amber Evans was a beautiful person and powerful activist. To our sisters at Ohio Women's March who organized with Amber and to her entire family community, we are thinking of you all. So grateful to have shared time and space with this incredible human being," author Treva B. Lindsay wrote. "Her effervescence always made me smile when I saw and spoke with her. Hashtag Amber Evans." Okay, so I didn't come across those words saying that it was probably a suicide, but with reading all of that, I will not be surprised or shocked if somebody killed this woman or had her killed. Because think of all the activists that have done some significant things and their voices have been heard and they've gone viral. And then they end up mysteriously dying. The one brother who was a part of Ferguson, Darren Seals, the one where they said that he was found inside of a burning vehicle with a gunshot wound to the head, and they tried to say that was a suicide. I don't believe that for a fact. I don't believe that for a minute. That brother was killed, and then they put his body in that car and burned it up. Like, to put someone through that kind of torture means you had an innate hatred for them. The problem is this woman was speaking out and she was getting stuff done. See, that's the thing. A lot of people say that black people need to do for their community and, you know, quote unquote, pick themselves up by their bootstraps, which I'm glad I have not heard that phrase coming from a certain group ever since that college scandal went out. But the minute that black people start to organize and do for themselves, stuff like this happens. They have to find a way to silence the voice or one of the voices. Because what it's going to do is send a message out and say that if you get too loud for us, we're going to find a way to silence you. So I would not be surprised if this young woman was murdered. I wouldn't be, because they said that that her and her boyfriend had, you know, gotten into some domestic disputes, but they completely ruled that out as foul play because they said there was no history of them getting into domestic spats. So somebody out there knows something, because it is very eerie that this woman was found dead somewhere else and her phone was in another part of town. So like I said, this woman was probably kidnapped. Her phone was dropped so she couldn't contact anybody, and then she was murdered, and then they dumped her body. That's what I truly believe. She was definitely killed by somebody who did not like her or wanted to get rid of her. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.